How I wish someone started telling me earlier that the formula that I would need to get employment after school would be something like 5% certification, 30% soft skills, 30% technical skills, and 35% work experience. Now, this still sounds like a problem because how do I get 35% work experience when I just left school? Welcome to Dreams to Dollars with DINDZE. If this is your first time, feel at home, feel comfortable. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you once more for coming back to watch my videos. In today's video, I will be telling you how to get work experience before leaving school. A lot of young people leave school before they start trying to discover what the job market is like, what the job market is going to require from them. And that usually happens to be a whole new course, a whole different lesson for a lot of these students. And it is common that employers often seek employees that have a certain level of work experience. And why is this so? I believe that when employers say that they are looking for an employee with 2 or 3 years experience, they believe that an employee that has been working for 2 or 3 years has developed soft skills, has perfected their hard skills. And so it's not really about the just sitting in an office, for example, and getting work done, but they believe that this person has developed the necessary skills that can make them survive in the working environment before they can get them that job. The fact that a whole lot of young people have this difficulty when they leave school because they keep seeing jobs that require this amount of experience, which they obviously do not have, is pointing us to something that needs to be changed. Maybe, just maybe, if we started including more of these skills that employers are seeking in our education system, many students would not leave school before they start taking this course afresh. Many students would not leave school before they start understanding how important soft skills are. And many students would not leave school and get to realize that their certificates do not really serve them as much as they imagined they would. Now, I speak in the context that I find myself in. I believe that it is similar with other countries in Africa, many other countries, and in many other places around the world. But what I see, what I experience, I strongly believe that we can do better. We can fix these lapses in the education system and just make sure that our students leave school already ready for the job market. Perhaps not 100% ready, but that they have they have the fundamentals, that they do not go out blindly into this world and have to discover it by themselves, because it's often really frustrating. And many people end up thinking that the so many years that they invested into education was a scam, that the so many years that they invested into education was wasted, and that is not necessarily true. So my experience is this: if you ask the most intelligent students in many undergraduate classes a typical interview question, like, tell me about yourself, you sit back and watch 9 out of 10 of them shock you. Does this mean that these students that are tagged as intelligent are not really as intelligent as they are assumed to be, or as they have been described? That isn't necessarily true. These students have followed the rules. These students have done what they were asked to do. These students have done their assignments. These students have read their textbooks. But at the end of the day, they are faced with a battle that is completely different from what they prepared for. It's like bringing I don't know, they went to a gunfight preparing to use their fist. In my case, I remember having studied funny things like who discovered the sea route to India. I studied parts of a cricket, a grasshopper. I even dissected a frog at some point. Those things might help 1 or 2 students, but if we are being realistic, how many of those students need that knowledge at the end of the day? how many of them are going to be able to use that knowledge? How many life problems are they going to be able to use that knowledge to solve? Yet fundamentals like communication skills, fundamentals like leadership skills, fundamentals like project management skills, things that they really need in life to solve real life problems, are being neglected. Enough light is not being shone on these things, and that to me is a serious problem. So why is it that we are not telling our young students that these are things that are common in the work field? These are things that are common when you will be searching for a job after school. Why are we not teaching them all these things? Meanwhile, they are really, really important for them. And at the end of the day, they say that the education system is failing young people. The education system is failing a lot of youths, because I see no reason why a young person, a young boy, a young girl who followed all the rules, who came to school on time, who did their assignments, who validated all their courses, who aced all their courses, ends up struggling to find a job. They followed the rules. And if following the rules leaves them penalized, then it means that we need to change the rules. It means that something is wrong with the rules. Education is supposed to help people be able to solve real life problems. And this is where the problem comes in. I feel that the education systems that we have are not sufficiently doing that. I believe that I do not speak only for my country when I talk about that, but for other countries as well. I really am not interested in calling out names or anything of that sort, but I think that this message is relevant to a whole lot of people and a whole lot of systems. So the way that systems separate education from equipping young people to be able to solve real life problems is totally catastrophic. Because why should a parent invest so much in their child, and at the end of the day, their child is lost in the world? Their child cannot find themselves. It's like the parents did something wrong by pointing them in that direction, by placing them in that path, which isn't supposed to be so. Education is beautiful, but if we started incorporating the ability to solve real life problems into our curriculum, if we started incorporating the ability to bring solutions to the things that plague us every day, it would make education much more effective and much more useful. Because the truth about it is that it takes an educated person to reason this way. It takes an educated person, to see things like this. But now that we have gotten ourselves educated to think critically, to analyze things critically, we might as well accept that we can do better, that there are changes that could improve the whole system. So for this reason, I appreciate educational NGOs a lot, because they come into, I feel like a lot of them come in to fill the gap that our standard education system leaves out. So educational NGOs, they come in and help students left and right to prepare them for the job market. They help them to just build them up to be professionals, to be people that employers are in search of, that employers are in need of. And this is a good way of approaching the problem. Yes, I'm saying that the way that you can get work experience before even leaving school is by beginning to expose yourself to situations that push you to work on your soft skills, situations that push you to perfect your technical skills, situations that push you to feel, to assume, to assimilate the conditions of a work environment. And that way, when you get there, you will be more comfortable. When you wait till after school to take this course all afresh, you are definitely going to be lost. And you might even be discouraged. That is the problem that many young people are facing. It is when we leave school that we want to figure out what it means to communicate properly. It is when we leave school that we want to figure out what it means to manage a project. When we leave school, when we leave school, that we try to figure out what it means to be reliable, to be accountable. It is when we leave school that we try to figure out all of these things. But what I am saying is that if you could take a personal decision to start exposing yourself to all of this, because it seems like most of our education systems lack these things. If you take it as your responsibility to start exposing yourself to these situations that push you to get these skills, by the time that you leave school, you'll definitely find your spot. I'm not saying that it is going to be easy, but trust me, it is going to be way easier for you than for people who did not go through the trouble of training themselves, of pushing themselves to get these skills that are highly sought after in the job market. So that was it on today's episode of Dreams to Dollars with DINDZE. I hope that you picked a thing or two from this episode and that you are going to be applying these new techniques to better prepare you for the job market after school. Now, once again, do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and invite your young friends to come and join this train where we share ideas and we sharpen each other up to try to be better and well prepared for what awaits us after school.